Welcome to Octomoves Member Spotlight. Today we have Claire. Welcome, Claire.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you. And I kind of recently like this question, the new old question. What is on your mind?
Okay, what is on my mind right now? Well, nothing really. I'm just really excited to talk to you about rope flow and what benefit it did to me for the past year.
Right. So as I understand, you started rope flowing last summer in July, and like half
Yes,
a
yeah.
year before you started jump roping. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So can you talk about so you still jump rope a lot, I guess, and you're mixing both
Yeah.
both of these, yeah. So maybe you can expand on your relationship with the rope flow and how your training looks like.
Yeah. So my training looks like whenever I rope flow, I basically do patterns, like the basic patterns, like the overhand, underhand, and the dragon rolls. I usually repeat those steps all the time so that I can master those steps and progress through it. So basically that's what it looks like. That's what my training looks like because basic patterns build up to more advanced patterns, right?
Hmm.
So I think it's really beneficial to me as well because I can learn a lot from basic patterns and incorporate it to a more advanced rope flow patterns.
Yeah, so how do you feeling? What is your level within those basic patterns?
I would say intermediate. I'm not gonna say that I'm a beginner because I can incorporate the basic patterns into a little bit more advanced, like dragon roll. I can do um Hanuman stance. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but I think that's Hanuman stance.
Yeah, this I think what you're kind of talking about is that a lot of the hand
Yeah.
swinging motion.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. So yeah, there's like plenty of names. I'm really bad at those, and I usually prefer to having like everything more simplified and to explain to somebody what we're doing here. It's good for
Hmm.
yourself if you're tracking and writing down like what you're
Yeah.
doing to kind of have those labels. But for myself, I think it's still a dragon roll, but
Yeah.
we utilizing more of our like scapula and shoulder grill by using like kind of wavy hands. So it's like wavy hand, the dragon roll,
Yeah.
and it's more about what we're trying to achieve with that movement, and not about how. Well, in my practice, it's not about how it looks. I don't
Hmm.
know how it's for you. Maybe doing like for the expression of yourself and playing with the rope, or maybe for a health benefit. So we didn't get to that point yet to ask
Yeah.
you. So if you want to kind of add some things over here, so go ahead.
Okay, I just want to introduce myself first. So I'm Claire Leoncio. I am a Filipino currently living in Canada. I discovered rope flow in July 2021. I
Mhm.
actually discovered rope flow because of my boyfriend's mom. You
Okay.
actually interviewed her already. Her name is
So
Tina
it's not Lena.
Banag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then so I actually saw one of her videos one time while I was scrolling through my Facebook page,
Mhm.
and I was scared to ask her, like personally, like, what are you doing? It looks so nice. It looks so cool. So I went ahead and like talked to my boyfriend about it, and I asked him, "Hey, do you know what your mom is doing?" It's like that's really cool. I really want to learn that. And it took like a month for me to get the courage to finally talk to her about like what are you doing? Because I want to
Mhm.
learn. And she told me that it was rope flow and there's like a lot of health benefits to it, and it helped her a lot through the pandemic. So at first, since I didn't have a rope, I used like those uh cheap jump ropes. Like
Mhm.
I think it was nylon or something. And I used that, and I was like, I can do some patterns, but like I don't feel the weight.
Yeah.
So then I I asked my boyfriend's mom if what ropes are the best to use. And she actually gave me a rope for me to try out. And from then on, I it was an addiction. It was really an addiction. I started rope flowing every day through the pandemic because I wasn't
Mhm.
really doing anything other than school that time. So yeah, it was really fun.
So, did you see any health benefits for yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah. It helped with my physical health, my mental health, and actually the way of my thinking. Because okay, first, physical health. It kept me physically active throughout the pandemic.
Mhm.
Since before I met rope flow, I was just sitting around and like eating all the time. And I started gaining weight, like a lot of weight actually.
Mhm.
And it affected me personally because I was bullied when I was in grade school because of my weight. So
Mhm.
yeah, and my mental health, it affected my mental health, but in a good way, because it reduced my anxiety throughout the pandemic. Because like like there's a lot of things you're thinking about when COVID started, because like your loved ones was like probably in danger since my mom is in healthcare.
Mhm.
So I was really anxious about that, and it affected my way of thinking. It allowed me to be more gentle with myself, and to yeah, to have more time with myself as well. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits actually.
No. All
Yeah.
right. I'm actually really interested in the what changes in the way of thinking you noticed.
Mm-hmm. So when before I met Roblo, I was not a patient person at all. Like, but then Roblo humbled me.
Mhm.
It it taught me to be more patient, because learning the different patterns takes time. It doesn't take a second for you to like learn it. So, yeah, and it taught me to be more gentle with myself, because whenever I do some patterns
Mhm.
and I didn't get it the first time, I get mad easily because like why can I do this? Why can other people do it, right? So, as months go by, I was more gentle with myself, and I was more patient, and that affected my way of thinking and other things as well. So yeah.
So did you how that new way of thinking transitioned and changed your life in the other areas except the rope
Mm-hmm.
flow?
Okay. Since I work as a service crew in McDonald's, there's a lot of customers that we have to deal with,
Mhm.
and that requires a lot of patience and a lot of self-control as well. And rope flow taught me that, and I carried that way of thinking into the real world. And I think that's really a beneficial thing for everyone to learn.
Mhm. So is that concentration and focus of the rope flow, or what's the thing? What you thinking that they had that impact for you, or it's the learning process, or the, as I mentioned, focus, or something else?
It's the learning process, and of course the meditation when you're doing rope flow, because you're focusing on movement, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's also the discipline, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So you have kind of discipline with the rope flow at this point. So you do it every day?
Not really. Not when I'm busy at school, but I do it to relieve stress,
Hmm.
especially diploma exams are coming and all of that. So whenever I am stressed, I actually do rope flow a bit to like whenever like in between my review times, I do
Hmm.
rope flow for like to clear my mind, especially when I'm really stressed because I'm taking physics and math. So, you know.
Okay. And how long are such intervals of rope flow in between of your?
Since I'm doing the Pomodoro technique whenever I'm studying,
Okay,
uh I
so 25,
use
5.
5 minutes. Yeah. I use 5 minutes of rope flowing in between my studies.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So I guess you also get some sort of like energy boost, or no?
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. Do you have any particular goals within rope flow?
Um mm, I think
It's
I
okay not to
want
have it actually.
yeah.
So if you don't,
More
you just say that.
discipline, I think.
Sorry,
More discipline?
more discipline. So I
Yeah,
guess it's kind of overall goal, or is more related to your practice
overall goal.
overall goal.
Yeah.
So how do you think you can benefit from the? Um, no, actually, the different question. Like, what kind of steps you need to take to have more discipline in your life?
The steps that I have to take to have more discipline in my life is, I think, be more consistent. That's one of my weakness whenever, whether it's in my studies or whether it's in my practice. Consistency is really one of my weakness, and I want to improve on that
Mhm. And how you can improve on that?
by building a routine for myself
Mhm.
and uh giving time for things and managing my time really well.
So what you're saying is prioritizing things.
Yes,
Priority.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So we kind of moved from discipline to prioritizing things. So what is important to you? And yeah, I understand there's like a lot of things in the world that we rather do at
Hmm.
something else than what we need to do. So do you have any techniques that you use to kind of get better at disciplining yourself, or prioritizing and like just giving that work?
As of now, I'm giving myself like 5 minutes every day to like do and prioritize my stuff, and I'm doing journaling
Hmm.
and planning. So yeah, I think that's the only technique I have as of now.
Do you have any rules in your life that you kind
Yes.
of follow? Yeah. You would like to share any of them, or?
Yeah, sure. Um every Sunday I take out my planner and I plan out my whole week. And whenever I don't get to do one thing for a day, it's not really like punishing.
Mhm.
It's more of like, I mean, it's kind of like a punishment for me. but I have to like um not be on my phone for like at least 30
Mhm.
minutes and do some actual work. And yeah, I think that's one way that I discipline myself and it's working out for me.
Yeah. So how do you make yourself accountable for that?
I don't really know actually.
Because like yeah, I should kind of punish myself, but nah, I maybe do like what I was just already started. So how you kind of go over that, like, and I believe that there's some situations that happen like that, and sometimes okay, I want going to lie to myself, I will place my phone and I will do the work, but
Yeah.
like so how you deal with that?
Um Sometimes I don't. I give into that way of thinking, but then I think about it and I'm like, other people can do it. Why can't I? And it's not it's not like it won't harm me in a way. It's actually really beneficial for you. So maybe just do it instead of like being on your phone all day, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you formulate any some thoughts to kind of push yourself to keep on going to do the thing, or
Yeah.
you count something, or what do you do? What's the process?
Um, I tell myself if I don't do something, then something's bad gonna happen. It's, I don't know.
Are you kind of
I'm like,
superstitious?
yeah, I'm like, I'm like manipulating my mind to like do work instead of being on your phone. Cause I don't know. It just works for me, really.
Oh yeah, that's good. So it's most important thing is to find what's working for you. I guess for myself, I also have like my rules of life, like what I'm trying to do, and yeah, it's usually you need to deal with yourselves, but there's like simple rules such as like um so one of them is like 5 minute rule that I'm using. If you don't want to do anything, so just do it for 5 minutes, but and that's it, it's over. But usually it's kind of it prolongs and you do it for a longer time, uh, especially if it's something that you start enjoying after you're doing so. It's good stuff. So like with the training or such, it's usually it's one rep, just do one rep and like the rest of it, it goes on. But sometimes it's okay, just finish after 5 minutes. uh Another rule that goes on top of it for me is like never miss twice. So if you want to do something every single day, and if you missed one day, well, it's all right. Don't miss the next day,
Hmm.
because if you're looking like to the progress line, if you keep doing something, you go up. If you miss something, you kind of you're not going anywhere at that day, you're kind of in the same position, you're flattening out. But if you're missing out the 2 days in a row, then you're declining. So it's
Yeah.
just at least if you're going like doing thing like every other day, you're kind of flatlining. Still a little
Hmm.
bit like I still believe there's a little bit progress. So this is another cool rule to have, like when you seeking your goals or want to have some certain habits in your life. And on top of that, where it goes, it's like fail forwards. So what that means is you do at least for 5 minutes, do it, never miss twice, and fail forwards. Even if you like kind of do something wrongly and you fail, but you failing forwards, not just sitting down and failing by not doing it. So it's kind of metaphorical saying like fail forwards, and it kind of falls into the same kind of another thing, another rule that having for my thought processing is like do, analyze, and repeat. So when
Yeah.
you did something, you even if you fall, you can analyze what's happening, maybe do another planning and repeat it. So all kind of these rules on one on top of another kind of propels you to keep on moving forward. Even the slowest pace, but you still need to keep
Hmm.
moving forward because everything what you input is accumulating. So So I'm just sharing. Maybe it's gonna be
Yeah,
anything useful for you to pick it up, or some for some listeners. So these are kind of my things that I like to do.
I really like that. I think I'm gonna incorporate that to my routine. Like I really like how you said never never
Never miss
miss
twice.
twice, because I really like how you explain like the progress when you go up and you missed one day, you flatline, but then if you don't miss one more day, your progress will go up again, right?
Yes,
And I
exactly.
really like that thinking because like you didn't say if you miss a day, you will go down. Like the line will go down. You just
No.
said it's gonna be flatlined. And I think that would be like a really cool motivation, not just for me, but for like everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this rule is really, really powerful for me. And like, if I miss something, like I usually, and sometimes I just know, like I'm purposely not going to do that day anything because I just wanna have everything without. But next day, it's the highest priority. Like whatever I miss, that has the highest priority. I'm good at just by skipping one day. Like we are not robots, we are humans, and we wanna have that a little bit, some sort of freedom. As also I think like discipline is kind of freedom, because
Mm-hmm.
you, with disciplining yourself, you're actually doing the things that you want to do, and it's more and in that discipline there's also your future goals are incorporated, and that's, it's usually hard to kind of maintain that because it's in the future, it's not an instant gratification. So that's why it's so hard, but that's why the discipline is powerful, and that's why it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of freedom, because it frees
Yeah.
you in the kind of terms of the future. But there's also a kind of chicken line. You cannot be like living too much in the future. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's like that never miss twice thing kind of comes, and it's like just enjoy the moment, just do
Mm-hmm.
what you want and need to have, but you know that tomorrow, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what, like you're doing that. And yeah, I had like some things that it was a couple of days, and like next day when after missing, and it's like, and I remembering like there's like in late at night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't slept, and like, damn, I haven't done that. And like, I must do it today. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what time is it, you just go in doing because you don't want
Mm-hmm.
to miss it twice. So yeah. Uh, I'm glad that you liked it. Please share it, spread it. It's a good
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah. Anything you would like to ask me?
Um, I have nothing in my mind right now.
So
Oh, yeah, I have a question. How long have you been doing rope flow?
um, I believe so, from 2018.
2018? How
Yeah.
did you know about rope flow? Like, did
Like
someone
I actually explain it like deeply in like some other talk a few episodes ago.
mm-hmm,
But one of my coaches pointed to David to check it out, the rope flow, and I because I was doing the chain whip at that point, and when I come back like a half a year back to Lithuania, I picked it up the jump rope and tried it to do, and it clicked it for me right away. And
oh,
yeah, and I used it for my clients after I get better and start looking for a perfect rope, and that
mhm,
kind of led me to co-founding the Octomoves at the end of the day, because we couldn't get a rope that would be good for the practice. Like
mhm,
it's with the rope, it's a tricky thing. You can do with whatever you want, and you can do with the like towel or whatever. It's nice, but the same thing is like you can surf with like just a plank of the board, or some kind of like
mhm,
Jamie O'Brien recently surfed with the window. But if you want to have a good time mm, doing it, so you want something that's specially made for that, so, and it creates the best experience, the
Mm-hmm.
user can have. So yeah, that's how it happened.
And what rope did you first use when you were learning rope flow? Did you use like the rope flow or did you use something else?
No, I have been trying like bunch of different ropes, like from depot stores, from climbing stores, but like they
Mm,
all been like too light or not
mm,
bendy enough, or doesn't
yeah.
have like a nice cord that you can feel
Mm-hmm.
it when you're hitting the ground. So it wasn't like I've been like an experimenting, like
Mm-hmm.
making like a tangling like three ropes together, so it has
Yeah.
like a little bit of weight. Until we got the first prototypes for Octomoves, so we
Mm-hmm.
made it like as we wanted, and yeah, the first one was Black Swan version 1. We don't have that rope
Mm,
anymore, but it was a Black Swan event for us.
mm-hmm.
You can look it up what is Black Swan event is.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of explains why we took that approach for the naming that rope.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, eventually when we got the Phoenix and the Flowzilla, so the different kind of uh, types of the ropes, and we upgraded the Black Swan for the greater quality. And yeah, that kind of uh, finally got to this point where we are now.
Yeah. Okay. One last question.
Sure.
Um, what benefits did rope flow did to you? Like, what did it affect your mental health as well and your physical health?
I'm really that guy that actually picks up things really fast, and one of the main reasons because uh, I I kind of got hooked on the rope flow was it's way easier to train people if you know how to rope flow. For example, going deeper into the movement and how to stack it up and do those stuff. Myself personally, what I noticed that yes, the one of the things was like thought processing. There was like more things kind of got put into place, and I actually really like that benefit that my brain got kind of boost when you're using it, and I can get like answers coming to me. It's like it feels like you're using more brain to kind of harness it. Uh, Despite that, there's of course like a body fluidity and control kind of part. I can guess coordination. I constantly like to be like playing and this kind of focus into one thing helps for your mental health for sure, so you kind of can relieve your stress. And but there's many practices that you can do that, but rope flow was one of those that actually has a lot of things in one place. So when I'm traveling a lot, I usually half a year away from home, so this become really a useful tool to have in my bag, and you can use it anywhere, so which is made really cool. It looks cool, and it's nice to have it with yourself, and instead of picking up the phone you pick up the rope, and so there's like more benefits over here, but we all kind of all of those small benefits we kind of accumulates in time.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot pick up the one that was like a biggest thing, because
Mm-hmm.
for me it kind of came, it's a fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it always can be a challenging. So I know you're doing a lot of tricking stuff. So
Yeah.
that's how we kind of making it challenging. It's more the fun factor doing the tricking, because the
Mm-hmm.
training is in the basic patterns and utilizing them and utilizing the as many joints as possible at the
Mm-hmm.
one time when doing. Uh, because I noticed that you also have the same thing that many jump ropers has. You do everything more from your hands and shoulders and the feet. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of combination of the jump ropers using when we start rope
Yeah.
flow. What my suggestion for you would be to try utilize different parts of your body, such as main thing why we did it is igniting your spinal engine. So basically trying to force the movement within your spine. I saw there's like bunch of movement appeared when you've been learning cheetah's tail. There was way more spine movement and the hip movement, which is what I see it's lacking. So you kind of, when you guys get good at and your mobility is it's improves, and you can actually just use only hands to achieve the pattern, that's why you're kind of getting a bit lazier and not utilizing the whole. So yeah, this is my recommendation for all jump ropers would be to try to utilize every single joint in the body when doing the single pattern, whatever you choose to do it, and try to do it effortlessly, and kind of transfer that energy to throughout all the body. So and think about it how your body creates movement and not what movement creates the rope. So it's basically a rope, it just flows and it's there, and it does the good job if you moving your body good. So if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more expression and the result what's happening. So it's like you can actually watch it to the rope like is the side benefit what it does. Like it's a side effect. You're moving the body in a certain way in a certain patterns, and the just rope is over there. And if it hits you, it says that you're not moving effectively as you can. So that's kind of my approach into rope flow, instead of just tricking and doing kind of that stuff, which I also like, but it's different occasions. What do you want to
Yeah.
achieve, and what's your intention when you're going to for a rope flow? Is it to have fun and play and just do like hand-eye coordination when you're just releasing, catching, and all of those, or you want to
Yeah.
actually mobilize your joints, have some athletic movements, some throw pattern practice and such? So these are completely different things, and it's quite a good thing to take on notice what you're doing and what are your kind of session goals.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you can say that your session was good and successful even when you're doing within a study?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you get rested, you add the stress relief, this anxiety, that's good, because your
Mm-hmm.
intention was to do that because of you wanted to achieve that,
Yeah.
because you've been sitting and you want to move it. But also, if it's not in between your studies and you're just going rope flow, do the rope flow practice. So how you can say that it was successful?
Are you asking me? Sorry.
Well, it's kind of
Okay.
a rhetorical question. Yeah. So
Okay.
how anyone can say that we had successful session? So especially when we kind of know all the patterns and we just go and
Mm-hmm.
follow and do some certain routine that we developed. So how do we know that we had successful practice?
Mm-hmm.
It's
If
only
I
ends
were,
up if you had some intention before the practice and you
yeah,
achieved it what you wanted. That's when it's successful. In our case,
yeah.
you had the practice for random reasons, and
Mm-hmm.
it's you cannot kind of say it was successful in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is because you kind of did something, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. But if I were to answer that question, I would say that um a row flow session is successful if you had fun in the end. And if you enjoyed it and you moved your body, I think that's gonna be like an indicator to me that my row flow session was successful.
Yeah, that's I totally agree with you and in all of the terms. But what I've been saying in here was from the trainer perspective.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so this is kind of, I always agree. Like there's in the surfing, there's a saying: "Is the best surfer that having most fun." And
Mm-hmm.
so the same you can adopt here. And like if you had fun, yeah, that was great session because it got a lot of benefits for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if we looking as a from a trainer perspective, like how you
Yeah.
can kind of measure it, like yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun, good, cool. But let's go a little bit deeper to the next
Mm-hmm.
layer and how
Yeah.
we define at that point. Like this layer is most of the time there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but we want to kind of go deeper and what's under that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Not as nervous as I was at the beginning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess our chat picked it up, so it's really nice. I would like to ask you for advice for a community. What would you advise?
Always be patient with yourself and be gentle with yourself as well. Don't be too hard on yourself and don't ever compare yourself to other people.
All right, thank you, Claire.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me, and for
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks for listening. I hope you found it something useful from our chat. If so, please drop a comment. What was your biggest insights? And may the flow be with all of us. Cheers.